Okay, let's get started. So, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's always so heartening to see a huge crowd at our meetup. We really couldn't do this meetup without the support of the members here. So, we have a big night tonight. We have two speakers, right? Quite a variety of subjects. We've got anywhere from MCP to finance. But before we do, we're just going to take a few moments to honour one of our members. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. John Marshall, stand up, please. Please give John Marshall a clap. 12 certifications and the gold jacket. So congratulations. That's really, it's just words cannot express how the feats that you've just done.
So, 13. 13
Yeah, I did ask. Are they going to take back your jacket now if you don't do the 13? So, I hope that answers that question. Okay, cool. So, it's my great pleasure. We're going to start off with Kamal from Mantle Group. He is a data engineering consultant. He also is an organizer of the data engineering meetup group. So, I'm not going to take too much time away from him, so let's welcome Kamal and come on down.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, everyone, for joining today's session. Sorry, please bear with me. I had flu since yesterday. My voice is a bit not so clear. Anyway, so today, what actually I will be sharing is focusing on the MCP servers. We work on this project almost 6 months before. I think AWS has released their MCP ecosystem, make it public 2 weeks before. So 6 months way before AWS has released their system, and we build the system from the ground up. Anyway, let's start with the challenge. Like the client we work, they had this static system like Chatbot. When you know that highly regulated system or organization, they don't allow any response without verifications. So all the responses is returned to the customer through Chatbot. It needs to be verified by the designer and being approved. And what the team wants, they don't want to stick to this conventional static chatbot. They want to use LLM, and also at the same time they want to have the control and auditability. And secondly, like conversational AI engineer, they build the system, the prompt engineering, do the prompt engineering rack, and pass it to designer to the testing. When they get the feedback from the designer, it's already taking significant amount of time. Like it's not only weeks, it takes months to get the verification, put it in a Jira ticket, let the engineer work. So it's a really long feedback cycle. So to solve this, we reach out to them, hey, how can we solve or how we can address all the challenges? The first thing is the designer, they are non-technical. They were requested to learn SQL and few other languages, so they are not interested. So the requirement is they want to use a no-code interface where they can do the testing. And it's not only for query to the database, at the same time they want to do the testing with a prompt, which is previously the task was a prompt engineer or AI engineer. Second, you know that when you have a structured table, you know that this column is a PI data. That's quite easily identifiable. But when it's a conversation, during this conversation, sometimes people share their personal data like phone number and any other PI data. So definitely, it's not easy to kind of encrypt. Sometimes that information can be leaked. And on top of that, there is a regulation. No designer should have access to the PI data. The conversational data, it should be strictly regulated and it needs to be encrypted. Second thing is that evaluation, right? Previously, like the team used to have like 7 designers. They're just validating all the responses, that whether this is right or wrong. But if you go to LLM approach, every response will be a little bit different, and you cannot really ask them to validate every response every time. It's taking a significant time. So we need to have a LLM evaluation framework. To solve this issue, actually, we approach as a agentic orchestration layer. Uh, how it aligns with the long-term strategy. They have a new team which is only focusing on conversational AI, all the chatbot or similar approaches, and then their long-term strategy or goal was use a agentic system. Initially, the idea came we will be building only MCP servers, and then they can communicate to MCP servers with MCP client. But eventually, we developed a system which is focusing on agentic system, and on top of that, flexible for development. You know that like that system previously they have this website where you list of columns or features which is kind of available to designer is fixed, but now and then they change request that yeah, I know I need new columns, probably I need a kind of high level overview about how many people has reached out in last 1 week. All those kind of analytical insights, it needs to be passed to the a website team or probably the development team. And then a development team will build this system, give them the requirement, test it. It's definitely a significant amount of time. So rather than doing it, if you just pass them a MCP server where they can communicate through natural language, I need these are the columns, or probably I need how many people has conversed with the chatbot in last 7 days, and you know that MCP server or MCP to natural language to any other SQL query or even Elasticsearch query is quite efficient now. So it has developed the flexible development environment will be reducing significantly. And it's not only for designers, sometimes the product managers, product owners, they don't have that latest technology or tooling to communicate, or they don't want to learn about it, just communicate through natural language, get the input, get the output from the system and make a decision based on that. On top of that, that long-term future technology adoption, like currently, if they were using BigQuery and Redshift, so in case they want to use probably Elasticsearch or even DynamoDB, so learning that query language is a significant effort. So AWS already released MCP server for all those things, all those different technology. You can just import one of the MCP server and then it's ready to query all those databases. So it will basically reduce the friction to adopt new technology. All right. So that's what we build. Before I go back, whatever the solution we built, remember that MCP servers. So before MCP, all of us know that function call.
Do you have an EMP with you by any chance?
No. Do you need this one? Can you hear me? Should I get this?
It's way down here.
All right.
What do you mean by EMP? A gun, you mean?
Cool. It's clear now, right? Okay, perfect. So I'm not sure how many of you know function call. Like before MCP, we used to have the function call. So when user requests to use, they need to specify that I need to use this function, probably Slack or database. Each of these has a unique API, make a call. But after MCP, you have this communication has been unified. So you just say that probably I need to send a Slack message through one unified API. LLM will decide which API to call and then make the decision. So the challenge with after MCP, I mean, it was working perfect. There is no issue. The challenge is that if you want to control or if you want to have some additional functionality other than only the Slack messaging or something, it wasn't enough. So that's why it came from agentic AI system. The benefit of agentic AI system is you just doesn't need to say you need to use a Slack tool or database tool. You just say that I want to send a message and then raise a peer. Probably the agent planner will know and then send a message, probably send a GitHub, or probably you want to raise a peer first and then update the Slack message with the relevant information. So agent planner will make the decision or plan it accordingly, which one to call first and then which one to go next. That's where agentic system, the beauty of agentic system, or is getting popular. On top of that, like, I'm not sure how many of you are keep using Google search. Nowadays, I just go to one of the LLM. If I have any technical issue, search it, natural language. I don't know how to use the specific term. Let LLM understand what I want, and then submit the query. This is how it works. So the trend, or people actually moving forward this direction. They don't want to refine what they want. Whatever came into the mind, they type it, pass it to agent planner, let agent planner make the decision, and whatever task I want, response will come out. If it needs to refine, we'll update it manually. Yeah, good thing we have came to agentic AI definition. Like, let's get back. What is agentic AI? I mean, just to make sure we are on the same page. I was mentioning that's autonomy, right? So first thing is we just submit a request. As I don't know how to execute the request on which sequence. Second thing is goal orientation. The goal will be defined. I can be really vague. Probably my message was not clear enough, but it will identify or refine the goal. And finally, it changes. Remember that I was just mentioning, for example, like I on the previous message I said, hey, raise a peer, and then system will just raise a peer. I said, hey, you raise a peer, did not inform the Slack message. So can you do that? And next time mention it. So this adaptability. Next time when you say that raise a peer, it will inform send a message on the Slack and then raise a peer. This adaptability. So when you activate the memory module of agentic system, it will adopt your behavior or personalize any suggestion you provide. Cool. Yeah, so good thing is whenever we have this agentic system, good, we love it, we want to build the agentic system, but definitely it comes with the trade-off. We should not be jumping on AI or agentic system whenever we find something interesting to work on. So the reason we want to compare it, if you can solve a problem through a simple LLM use case, do this. Not necessarily you have to go back to agentic workflow. Yeah, there is a not really significant difference, but definitely in terms of cost and the time it will take, there is significant. You need to focus on the ROI, what ROI you will be bringing on. At the same time, whether you can make the trade-off decision, the increased autonomy with the cost and latency. This figure I have highlighted, this is not the definitive figure. It will change based on the technology, tools, or model you are using. But based on some projects we have worked on recently, we came up with this number. Yeah. I believe you know the difference between agentic workflow and pure agentic system. The agentic workflow, when you design the agentic system, it still can be agentic system, but you need to define that, hey, do A, B, and C on this sequence. But on full agentic system, it has the full autonomy. You can decide whether you want to use A or C or whichever sequence based on the planner agent. Cool. Right. So the system we have built, as I mentioned at the beginning, we built it almost 6 months before, and AWS tooling was not really in public preview at that time. So anyway, I'm not sure how many of you know about Light LLM. Light LLM is a LLM gateway. It's an open source tool, and Fast API, I think most of our people who work on the ML space are using Fast API. Is a serverless API framework. We use this LLM gateway as a kind of gatekeeper to our MCP servers. We have this MCP servers ecosystem where one of the MCP server use the natural language to query. I'm not sure whether you have used this natural language to query. It has improved significantly. It's so accurate. Even now, I get sometimes confused. Like, a lot of people are getting confused. The analyst job will not be there in couple of years. It will not be couple of years, I believe. But it's really accurate. How vague you can be still generate a SQL query or BigQuery, really accurate. Submit, execute the query, and then LLM as just is a kind of established framework now, when you have a chatbot or you have a RAG, advanced RAG system, you need to evaluate the response. So there is a different way, different strategy, it possible. But by default, like LLM is just is popular one. So here you don't need any golden records. Then prompt evaluation, which is part of the prompt engineering. When you build a chatbot, the prompt engineering is one of the primary thing we need to optimize. And then all of them can be work as an agent, and these are the tools where we query database and do the LLM evaluation, and sometimes raise a PR. All of them can be done using natural language. So I will give a small pause. I think next one is the demo, quick demo we have built. So we can take question after the session, right? Or okay, cool. So I will go for a quick demo. There is not a fancy system yet. Just hope the demo will be working without any issue. Cool. So just to give you a highlight, this is the system. The LLM gateway currently I'm using on my local machine, and all of them are working as a MCP server, and I have a planner agent, which is kind of communicating with all of server, all of these MCP servers. Cool. So first one is like I want to probably submit a SQL query, which will hit a database and get me the chatbot conversation which has been recorded by some other API. Okay,
Well, if you could
expand it.
command plus a few times.
Zoom in.
Is it okay? Okay. So I just gave in the command that can you please list 5 conversation. So it hit the database. Currently, this is a database on local machine and retrieve last 5 conversation. Then second thing is, if I want to just review, probably use the LLM evaluation to review whether my LLM evaluation framework or the new conversation is giving the responses as expected. Okay. So I intentionally change some keywords like chat, conversation, and other things. So by default, the logic I put there is if average score, evaluation scores is less than 4, I mean greater than 3, it will not raise any PR. So if it's less than 3, then you will pick up all those conversation which has been responded by chatbot, create a file and raise it a PR for post evaluation. So it's that yeah, scores are good. You don't have to no need PR. Okay, did I open my yeah? So this is the PR I just tested. So it's one PR here. I want to give it let's do that review just 5. If score. So default setting is less than 3. So I'm just changing it to 4. Hopefully it will work. Let's see. So agent planner, it understands. It dynamically changes the code in our system. I mean the default setting we have, and then it will execute what the latest conversation or what is the latest in the. Okay, it's not working for some reason. What I will do. Anyway, it works. The proof is there. I was trying all of those pairs, it working. You know that when you demote something, always it starts misbehaving. Anyway, I will not wait for it. I will go back to my slide. Okay. So ideally, it should work. The current implementation of what I did, my planner agent is running as in my local machine. The reason I put it in a local machine, the streaming interface, AWS Lambda doesn't support streaming. So that's why I was using it on my local machine as a planner. But you can deploy it as Lambda, the main agent. The only change, the two things here, even in existing Lambda, if you have an existing Lambda function, you just have to do this tool manifest file and an OML configuration, which is passed into the planner agent. And then your existing Lambda will work as an MCP server. So, and few other interesting options, like currently is getting popular is, all of them can be used, even planner as an MCP server as a Lambda function. If you want to go for more advanced, the AWS Bedrock agent core, it provides it. It gives you the full support for observability, agent identity. It has a direct integration with the Cognito, even Okta. So you can know who is accessing, and you can control what MCP server or agent the person has access. So all this feature is readily available. And I think it has been publicly available since last 2 weeks almost now. So it's a good chance to explore now. Cool. So yeah, remember that solution we developed with Light LLM and all the functions, MCP servers, we deployed actually previously in Cloudflare. But now if you're building a Lambda function and just add the tool manifest file with the Lambda function, that will work as MCP server. On top of that, you have this agent gateway, which can translate any Lambda function, and agent core identity. You don't need to build those access control, access management with any hard engineering. It is supporting now out of box by agent core. So you can explore, and I'm not sure how many of you attended this afternoon's workshop. It was a really nice workshop. I mean, they are showing all the capability, all the functionality of agent core. It's a good one. You can explore it as well. And Amazon Bedrock agent core is still evolving, but if you look into it, all the services offering now, it has kind of complete packages: gateway, observability, and memory, which I was mentioning that it will learn or adopt. So if you activate the memory, you give some instruction today when the model was not, or your system agent was not working as expected. Next time, it will remember that and act whichever way you correct him or correct the agent. So it's an interesting time. Even 6 months before, I was not even confident that it will become this mature, but it's becoming really mainstream. Almost every company using it or trying to build a POC. Not necessarily I'm saying that it's replacing everything, but it will be kind of mainstream, one of the mainstream solution. So more company will start adopting it. Good. I think that's all. I can accept questions now, if you have any questions.